if your desires are a promise, and they are, and your desires are planted inside of you from God or your higher self, and they are, then what is the holdup with your desires? Well, let's be honest, the only holdup then can be you, your ego mind. So we are going to talk about that in this video, and I'm going to help you get out of your own way, accepting that your desires are meant for you. They are meant for you. And we're going to talk about all of this, and it's going to be so clear. All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. I am your Muse, Traci. I am here to inspire you and empower you to live the life of your dreams, to create on purpose exactly what you want in all areas of your life, to stop settling, and to stop suffering. You are not here to suffer. If that sounds good to you, you are more than welcome to subscribe to my channel. I offer one-on-one coaching, and I also offer group coaching. If you have any interest or questions about that, you can follow the links in the description down below, and let's get right into the video. Okay, so if your desires are planted inside of you from your higher self or from God, whatever you want to call it, and they are, then what could be the holdup? It's just you and your ego mind. Actually, not you. Actually, not you. Let's be more clear. Let's be more specific. Your ego mind is the only thing that can be in the way. Now, a couple things we need to talk about. What is your ego mind and why is it in your way? And then why is it that we have desires that are bigger than our current belief system? Or why do we have desires that challenge our ego? That's really what I want to talk about in this video, okay? So accepting that your desires are planted inside of you from God, right? A quick sort of proof, I guess, of how or why that is we all have different desires. We all kind of ultimately want the same things. We want love, we want comfort, we want joy, but the specifics of what those things are for each individual person can be very unique and very different. And so those desires are given to you from your higher self. And another proof of that being so is you can't really get rid of your desires. I mean, you can deny them, which is very painful, by the way. You can deny your desires. You can, because you don't believe you can have them, which is painful and leads to pain in all sorts of ways. But if you understand that you're an unlimited creator, then you learn to admit your desires, admit your full desires. To who? At first, just you. Just admit them to yourself, inside of yourself. That's the first step. And if you know that you are an unlimited creator, you know that everything is not only possible, but already exists. If you can have the desire for it, if you can even have the thought about it, it exists. Neville talks about this. Everything already exists. There's a serial universe, parallel realities, infinite parallel realities. So everything exists. Everything is possible. And you have your specific desires planted inside of you by whom other than your higher self. Now, your higher self is you. Okay, it's like the broader perspective of you, the non-physical part of you. And your higher self is not a cruel being. Your higher self is not going to give you desires that you can't have. No, that's not why your higher self would want you to have the desires. Actually, the opposite is true. Your higher self is giving you the desires because your programming, your limiting beliefs, your limited self-concept, your limited concept about reality in the world and how everything works, most likely currently contradicts your desire that is being given to you. So what's really happening then? Your higher self is calling you to become more, to expand your consciousness, your belief system, Expand what you think is possible, and it does this through the medium of your desires. Now, isn't this making complete sense, you guys? This is exactly why so many people struggle. And you don't have to struggle. You're not here to struggle. That's why this video is so important, and so it's going to be so helpful for so many of you, because understanding this, okay, I was given a desire for, let's just say, a specific person, a relationship, or it can even be an amount of money, or it can be a specific job or job title, or place that you want to live, anything, okay, whatever. We all, like I said, we all have different desires that ultimately lead us to some of these common themes that we all want, but we all have those different, very specific individual desires. Okay, so you have those desires. They were given to you, they're just sort of upon you, from your higher self. Now, your higher self is you. Your higher self is like, you can trust you, right? You can trust yourself. You can trust the higher version of yourself, the version of you that really is completely limitless. They're non-physical. They have broader perspective. Your higher self is infinite. It's part of the infinite realm still. Okay, so your higher self, part of the infinite realm, knows everything is possible, is giving you this desire that is right now outside of your belief system. So you don't believe you can have that love or relationship. You don't believe you can have that certain amount of money. You don't believe you can have that job title or that job. You don't believe you can live where you ultimately want to live. You don't believe you can have the car, the house, the boat, whatever. Okay, well, does that really mean that you can't have it? Or does it mean that right now you're holding a belief system that is blocking you, sort of in the way of you realizing your true potential, which is an unlimited being? And this desire is just one step in the process of you realizing that, by the way. Because that's why at each level of expansion, there's going to be another desire, bigger, again, outside of your belief system. And then when you expand to realize that desire shows up in your 3D reality because you did the work to clear out your limiting beliefs and you did the work to conquer your ego. I'm going to do a video on surrender next video. And this is really what you need to do with your ego. You need to learn how to surrender. And it's like the fast track to transforming everything, your limiting beliefs, your ego, everything. So at each level, though, there's always another level to go, is what I'm trying to say. At each level, you'll be given a new desire and a new desire and a new desire. And it's this never-ending game of expansion, okay? And so it doesn't need to be painful. Pain is not a requirement. It's just what we tend to go through at a human level because we misunderstand things. We misunderstand and we think current reality is showing us our limitations. No, it isn't. Current reality is showing you what you previously believed in. There are no truths, by the way. There are no truths. The things that are showing up in your 3D reality are just evidence of your past beliefs. You made them true by focusing on them. Did you guys get that? You made them true because it's your reality. You're the one creating and you dwelled upon something, okay? That's why your circumstances don't matter. Another video that I'm going to record. I know I've already done it before, but it's time to do another one. Your circumstances don't matter. Why? Because your circumstances are always just the evidence of your past thoughts, beliefs, state of being. So they don't matter. They don't matter in the sense of like, they're showing you a limitation or they're showing you your worthiness. They're not showing you any of that. They're showing you what you previously focused on. That's it. That's it. You just need to practice seeing 3D through this lens. It's a different pair of glasses, if you will, a different lens to see your reality through. And I know you guys could try right now to look at your reality and go, oh yeah, that is definitely something that I've held in my consciousness before, something I dwelled upon, my past state of being, and now I see that's showing up. So I know you can do it in this moment, but doing on a consistent, regular basis is what you need to practice and what you need to keep bringing yourself back to again and again and again and again and again and again and again without fail, without forgetting, without slipping back into, oh no, 3D reality is real and true. And okay, you're trying to break out of that habit. And it is a habit, and it's an autopilot thing because you've practiced it for so long, but it's just a habit. You can totally break it. Okay, this is where the work is. This is where the work is. Changing your limiting beliefs, expanding your consciousness, expanding your ideas and thoughts about yourself, and practicing new habits, new ways of, lenses of looking at your reality, the ways of looking at your reality, the lens that you look through, the filter, whatever you want to call it. This is your work, right? And so this is the purpose of your desires, and your desires are not here to torture you. Again, your higher self is not a cruel being. Your higher self, or God, is not giving you desires that you can't realize in the physical reality. There was a comment on my video that said, stop telling people that they need to just be happy and satisfied with their imagination. I've never said that, and I don't believe that. No, you're meant to experience things in the 3D reality. I'm telling you the way to get to experience them in your 3D reality is by being satisfied in your imagination. It's totally different than me just telling people, like, just have an imaginary life. That's not how I live, and that's not what I teach. So maybe just watch a few more videos and you'll get it. So you are not here to suffer. You're not having desires that are outside of your current belief system because you can't have them. That's not how this works. Right? And I'm repeating myself because I want to make sure that this lands. I want to make sure this lands because this is where a lot of people struggle. Oh, Traci, I don't know. I just don't believe that I'm worthy of having this love or this relationship. Traci, I just don't believe that I can have this amount of money in my life. I've never had it before. So how would I have it? Well, you just change your beliefs. You just change your lens that you look through to, perceive reality through. And that will feel challenging at first. Try to pick up a new sport or a new skill. Guess what? It feels challenging at first. Okay? It's okay. And I'm not minimizing this. Look, you guys, I understand the challenges here. It's still challenging for me at sometimes. I'm always trying to go to the next level. And when I get to the place where I'm going to the next level, you better believe it's hard at first, okay? So I'm not minimizing this in any way, but I am trying to empower you that let it feel hard for a moment and then, oops, okay, hold on. I remember what's happening now. I'm up leveling. I'm going to the next level. I'm being pushed by my higher self, which is me, which only wants the best for me. I'm being pushed to expand, to release things that no longer serve me. Things in your consciousness, in your belief system, in your ideas about yourself or the world that say you don't get to have what you want are not serving you. How would that be serving you? I can't think of any way that would be serving you. That just sounds like suffering. So remembering it's okay to have a moment where you're like, but remember when you feel that, like, limitation, 3D is showing me limitation. Why do I want this thing that I don't get to have? Right? When it comes to that place, that's when you need to remember, oh, wait a minute, I get what's going on here. I'm being pushed to expand. I'm being pushed to grow. I'm being pushed out of my comfort zone, right? The ego. Okay, yes, I said I was going to talk about the ego. So your ego is very attached to your current belief system. And so your ego will feed you thoughts that protect that current belief system, which are going to be thoughts, again, if your desire is outside of your current belief system, it's going to be thoughts that contradict your belief, your desire, excuse me. So your ego is always going to sound like limitation, questioning, telling you that you can't do it, right? Some personal attack on you, all of your own personal limitations. This is all ego, okay? And it's not the truth. It's not the truth. And your ego, I'm not villainizing the ego. The ego has a very important role. It is simply trying to keep you alive on the planet. And so because your belief system was developed from a mode of survival, your ego thinks you need to adhere to those beliefs in order to survive. So your ego is just perpetuating and protecting the belief system that it thinks you need for your survival. Okay? No problem. That's not bad. That's good. But you, being the consciousness that is looking to expand, get to step in and be the CEO of what's going on here. Watch my video about ego as CEO. You don't want to give the ego the power and the position of CEO, okay? That is a direct route to suffering, plain and simple. There's no better way to say it. When you give your ego the role to run the show, you say, okay, ego, you're the CEO here. You're the main head honcho. You're the one in charge. Direct route to suffering, plain and simple. Okay? So you have to figure out how to step in, be the CEO as the consciousness, as the one who is really in charge, and put your ego back in its place. Okay? No problem. You can learn how to identify the ego. You can learn how to override the ego. No problem. It's not that difficult. Again, watch my next video coming up about surrender. This will be one of the key ways that you can do this. So, again, your circumstances are not showing you your limitations. Your circumstances are not showing you your worthiness. Your worthiness, I just did a little quick short about this. Your worthiness is never in question. Just like a newborn baby, just like a newborn puppy, you're worthy. They don't have to earn their worthiness. No one would look at the baby and say, I don't know. I'm not sure about this one. Nobody says that. You look at the baby and you go, oh, so precious and so worthy and so amazing. This being has infinite potential and this amazing, road and life ahead of them. You are no different than the newborn baby. The only difference is you have some layers of programming and conditioning and societal things and, again, things that I talk about all the time. But these things are not you, and these things are completely your responsibility to change if they're not serving you. Because again, there are no truths. There's only 3D reality showing what you've previously dwelled upon and held in your consciousness and held as your dominant state of being. That's it. Okay? So we're not looking at 3D reality and saying, I don't get to have what I want. Why did my higher self give me a desire that I can't actually experience and live in the 3D reality? Because you're meant to have it in the 3D reality, just in case anyone missed that. You're meant to have it in the 3D reality, just in case you missed it. But the way to get there is through your inner world. You have to live in the state of accepting your desires. So this is really where we're going with all of this. When you understand that 3D is not showing you limitations, when you understand your higher self is not a cruel being, it's not giving you desires that you don't get to have. If you understand that you actually are worthy of everything and you have infinite potential, then you shift yourself, you learn to shift yourself into the state of the wish fulfilled. Because you have a desire, the desire is meant for you. You can just go ahead and start to assume that you have it now. What would the feeling be like if you had it now? This is how Neville teaches to live in the end. This is what I'm going to teach you in my upcoming 8-week live course launching in just a few days. Check out my website if you're interested. But this is the key. You learn to live in the end. You learn to go to the end. The moment you have a desire, the next step, the very next step after you remember these things, because you have to remember these things, right? You have to remember the 3 or 4 things that I just listed. And then as soon as you remember those things, the only next thing to do is go to the end. Practice acceptance. Practice the feeling. Ask yourself, contemplate, think about, visualize. What would the feeling be like if I had this now? All right, you guys. Super enjoyed this one. Please leave me a comment down below and let me know if you are going to remember these things and, if these things are impactful for you and really sort of eye-opening about the desires that you currently have. Okay, leave me a comment and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.